This is the second video and giving you some information from my Johns Hopkins report on reducing your heart attack risks. In the last one I mentioned you should be doing blood work with your primary care doctor at least once a year. I try to do it every 8 to 9 months. Sometimes it gets into the 6-month range. Sometimes it's gone to 1 year. But in the future Johns Hopkins video, by the way, the neighbor is mowing the yard next to me. I'm sitting on the porch in this beautiful sunny afternoon, about 70 degrees, upper 60s at least. Anyway, there's a lot of other tests that you can consider besides your normal blood work, especially if any of those normal blood work is starting to indicate any potential problems. I'll give you a list of those in my next video. I don't want to go into it this time. I would like to give you some other thoughts on some measurements that might help you. Well, one of the first ones I want to tell you up front, and you probably all know this, if you're smoking, stop it. Only 5 to 10% of people successfully quit on their own. They need some kind of aid or reinforcement. So, if you're still smoking, find that aid that can help you quit. It's going to be really something you need to do. Just one other thought real quick. All my thoughts generally are for men and women. But one of the misconceptions has been that coronary heart disease has long been thought of as a male problem. Yet 1 out of every 3 American women will develop heart disease in their lifetime. Each year, nearly 192,000 will die of it. Now again, these are taken from the Johns Hopkins report. So, what's your lifetime risk of heart disease? And what are the things that you really need to do to consider that? Well, studies show that estrogen alone, or in combination with proestrogen, does not protect the heart and may increase the risk of a stroke. The same is true for selective estrogen, and some of them that might have been thought of before as being good. Well, research has shown that antioxidant supplements, such as E-C beta-carotene, are not useful in fighting heart disease. In addition, high doses of vitamin E may even risk heart disease. Folic acid may have some benefits, but does nothing for the heart. Sometimes we see that aspirin is being prescribed for people, but before the age 65, Johns Hopkins says aspirin does not reduce the risk of heart disease in women, and can in fact produce ulcers. It could do that in men prior to the age of 65 as well as 65 and after. I had a case of ulcers when I was in my late 40s. Got a scope, found out I did. My doctor said it was taking aspirin. See, I had um, some severe headaches from time to time, and it was with stress and things at work and like that kind of thing. Well, I stopped taking aspirin. I stopped working. I retired. I don't have any problems with migraines or headaches anymore. Occasionally, I may be a little bit of pain of something or other, but not much. And I might take something, um, but it's not aspirin based at all. Well, you all know you're supposed to eat a healthy diet. Placing you on a cholesterol lowering medication sometimes is what has to be done, but reducing your intake of high fats and actually uh, high cholesterol and sugars and things like that can really help. And so limit your fat consumption. As much as 25% of your total calories can really be of help. Your saturated fat should be 70% of your total calories. Sorry, 7% of your total calories. Excuse me. That's not very much, but that's every day, and you can monitor that. The cholesterol intake should be less than 300 milligrams per day. Cholesterol is found only in foods of animal origin. Hmm. Shellfish even contains large amounts of cholesterol. Monosaturated fats are better than saturated fats wherever possible. Olive, canola oil, almonds, avocados can help with your monounsaturated. You should look for even beyond that polyunsaturated. Those can be found in sunflower, safflower, corn oil. They can lower your LDL, which are really important to lower those LDLs, and get that down. You probably should consume fish 2 times per week, especially fatty fish. Now that's contrary to fatty meats, of course. So you limit your trans fats from your diet. It's a change you can make now. Understanding what you're eating and trying to find out. And you can clearly find out because most of the things you eat now tell you exactly what their contents are. And if they don't, find another source of them. Well, a diet low in sodium, high in potassium can help lower your blood pressure. I went into that a bit on the other John Hopkins video that I did. The average American consumes 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium per day, much more than the body needs. And you need to lower that at least in half. Consume no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium. Salt adds to the food during cooking. Since I started taking vitamins and minerals 40 years ago, there's a factor that you can't go back in history and reclaim like I have. I have not used table salt. I have not used sugar in anything. When I have drinks, yeah, I have occasional soda, but not much. Soft drink. But I not use diet and those fake uh, sugar substitutes. This can be worse for you in other ways. So I'll limit my sugar to maybe having a Pepsi or something like that. Maybe not even once a month. But what I have is black coffee, black unsweet tea, water, um, Gatorade, some low sugar, some not. And I will not add sugar or salt to anything essentially in these 40 years. Try to eat more fiber. You see on labels, they'll tell you how much fiber you have. And you'll be surprised that some foods you eat have very little fiber in them. But you should eat 25 to 30 milligrams of fiber, not milligrams, grams of fiber a day. That's kind of hard to do. It comes in only two forms. Types in oatmeal that you get when sticky when wet, and I do eat a fair amount of oatmeal. It's like a sponge. It kind of solves sponges like up and gives you the fiber you need. Vegetable skins also absorb the water, and both types of fiber are important for lowering blood cholesterol levels. And investigate your fiber from food because they contain a variety of nutrients. So, in getting with this particular video, I'm asking or telling you the things that John Hopkins says that you should do. And here's some good sources for fiber. Oats, oatmeal, I just said that. Oat bran, barley, legumes. What are the legumes? Beans, all kinds of beans. Dried plums, prunes, apples, carrots, grapefruit. Grains, well, whole wheat, barley, brown rice, as well as seeds and most other vegetables, are rich in soluble fibers. Most people who find it difficult to get enough fiber to their diet regularly use products that contain fiber from psyllium seeds, such as Metamucil. That can be prescribed to you, and you get you some fiber that way. I would not do it on your own, but talk to your doctor. You'll find that some doctors are just not into or understanding vitamins and minerals, and some of these things that will help your diet. In one of my visits on a cancer follow-up, I talked to a nurse practitioner who was talking about a few vitamins that should not be combined with cancer, and she clearly was telling me a couple, and I told her about my experience, 40-year study of it, and what I've done, and how I research it and how I use it. And she says, well, you know far more than I do about vitamins. Your research is good. Stick with it and find out. So I'll give you more of these as time goes on to help you with understanding which vitamins are more important. Actually, one of my next ones is about vitamins. If you haven't watched, I just put up a video on power of foods. It had nothing to do with vitamins per se, but the power of foods. Well, kind of get back to the thought on this one. John Hopkins also talks about Soy is another food component to consider to prevent heart disease. Soy protein, such as soy milk, tofu. We've all heard about tofu, haven't we? Another one is antioxidants. Diet rich in fruits and vegetables. We can get antioxidants and minerals and supplements, but we should get them in fruits and vegetables. And the most common in diets are vitamin E, vitamin C, and beta carotene. Now, these are for the antioxidants. Remember, I just said these vitamins and minerals are not good for preventing heart disease, but they are good for antioxidants. Now, these vitamins don't add to heart disease, they just help. They just don't help you to prevent it. But then they do help you with giving you better antioxidants, which can go a long way in giving you better health. And there are other nutritional supplements that are folic acid, CoQ10, and garlic that are really good in fighting heart attacks. You need to do a little bit of research, finding out a good source of those. Sometime I may recommend certain brand names. Maybe I won't. I'll see. When you do that, you're always opening yourself up for some potential problems. But fish oil supplements are a good source of omega-3 fats. But some of these, I've got to be careful if you are taking chemo. And you might want to talk with someone who is your oncologist. They will know about the effects of chemo, or they may not know the real benefits of vitamins and minerals outside of chemo. Well, we all know that physical activity is important, especially if you have diabetes too. You should have 30 minutes a day for at least twice a week, if not more than that. I just finished doing a 30-minute walk, actually it was 33-minute walk, in my neighborhood, and I do 25 minutes usually every single day that the weather allows, and maybe 2 or 3 days in a row the weather has been cold and I haven't gone out. But there are many days when I can go straight out and do that. And now as we approach the end of April, I should be able to do that most days unless the rain prevents it. So, American Heart Association, Johns Hopkins, American College of Sports, they recommend 30 minutes or more, 5 days a week. You do not need all 30 minutes at one time. Short bursts of 10 minutes, 3 times a day are good. I usually try to do it non-stop, my 25 or 30 minutes, because when I get out, I really want to do it. But you can even do more than that. Power to you. Well, one of the last things I want to end with on this particular video is you need to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. In lowering your blood counts, your blood pressure, your risk for a heart attack, and everything, as this particular video has come mainly from the heart attack prevention from Johns Hopkins, with some other thoughts from American Heart Association and Cleveland Institute. You need to know what your healthy weight is. In your doctor's office, your primary care, he will tell you what your weight should be for your height and your age. You can find it online, and they probably are fairly accurate, and at least it'll be a good start if you haven't gone to your primary care doctor in a while to get your blood counts tested. But urge you to get in there and get your blood counts tested and find out what your best weight is, what you're supposed to be, and get it down to that weight. And when I had this cyst on my pancreas and had it removed, and they found cancer, and now I've had 10 bouts of chemo infusion and no sign of cancer at all now. I'm completely healthy. Now, it may return. I'm going to have it tested again here soon and be sure. And I may do radiation down the road. But I didn't have to worry about weight loss. I was a 6'1", 6'1.5", almost 6'1", male, 79-year-old, and I weighed about 195 pounds. I wasn't considered significantly overweight, but maybe by 5 or 10 pounds. So I was going about trying to lose weight. I did that by essentially trying to eat 2 meals a day. Not something you should recommend. In fact, one of the things that you see from nutritionists are, you may want to eat 6 meals short spurts of meals, good quality meals, snacks, but good snacks, 6 times a day rather than eating 3 meals a day or even cutting it down to 2. In other words, don't cut yourself short, but pay attention to what you eat. Anyway, when I had that mass on pancreas, my weight loss was 60 pounds. I didn't have to worry about what I ate, even though the first 5 or so pounds did come off when I was reducing my weight. And all of a sudden, it started going down, and then I knew I needed to go have something checked. So do you. Find out where you are. And if you need to drink, moderation, do it. Sometimes it can help reduce some blood clots. They'll tell you that. But only in moderation. And what moderation for you is, I can't tell you. Try to find that out. You can get some help with that. But even moderate alcohol can damage your heart. I've never had any alcohol. I may have had 1 or 2 beers, maybe 3, in my late teens. And I know this is not a Bible video, and my other website is Revelations of Heaven, which you might want to go to sometime. I have all kinds of Bible videos. Once I became a Christian at the age of 19, I have not consumed a bit of alcohol ever since. That's up to you. It's your choice. You can become a Christian and have it moderate. There's nothing in the Bible says you can't drink it. I've just said not to. It's reduced my stress level. It's reduced my thoughts about what I should do. And you should find out anything that'll help reduce your stress. Now, there is an approved drug that will help lower your cholesterol. And you need to think about this when you go in to your doctor. It's called niacin. And it'll help greatly on the impact of your high density cholesterol. It actually, contrary to what you might believe, it raises HDL levels by 20 or more %. And that offsets some of those lower density cholesterol levels that are really bad. And so it dilutes blood vessels. And it can help you. And over-the-counter forms of niacin are available. But the high doses sometimes are needed to boost the HDL. I would not recommend it. Do it on your own. Do some research. Find the sources that I've shared with you a little bit, and I'll be sharing with you more in another video. But find a doctor maybe who has some knowledge of it, and they might be able to help you some too. But in the meantime, I hope that you will like this video. Like me on Facebook. Go back and subscribe to me on YouTube. Excuse me. Lost my train of thought. Some distraction out in the yard. But anyway, God bless you, and I hope that you're well and you live for years. And I hope even though I'm 80, I can go on for maybe at least another 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'll tell you something that I'm doing now that anticipates me living to at least 10 years. We'll share that with you another time. In the meantime, God bless you.